So, we have a story here today of a sexual assault that has taken place recently. And this one really bothers me down to my core. All right, we're going to get into this video. And let's just get into this video and then I'll explain why this one really bothers me. All right. So it says North Chicago man arrested in Vernon Hills after being charged with attacking and sexually abusing a woman. Put up his image. Yeah. A North Chicago man was arrested in Vernon Hills after police said he grabbed a woman and sexually assaulted her in Evanston until her friend interrupted the attack. A 20-year-old woman was entering her residence in the 800 block of Noyes Street in Evanston around 10:30 p.m. on February 27th. An unknown male subject approached her as she was in the north stairwell of the building. Okay, this is according to Evanston Police Department. The suspect grabbed the woman from behind and then covered her mouth and groped her. The victim was on the phone with a friend who heard the attack and immediately came to her aid. Kudos to the friend. The offender fled the scene when the friend arrived. The victim suffered minor scratches to her body. The victim reported the incident to the police and officers interviewed her and initiated an investigation. Police officers said the investigation led to the recovery of surveillance footage of the offender. Images of the offender were distributed to law enforcement in the area, and a member of the Northwestern University Police Department was able to identify the offender as Carlos E. Scott, 26 years old, of North Chicago. The investigation further revealed that the vehicle routinely driven by Scott was in Evanston at the time of the incident, and that he had been at a Northwestern women's basketball game prior to the incident. Scott was arrested at his place of employment in Vernon Hills. He was transported to the Evanston Police Department without incident. Scott declined to provide a statement to detectives. The Cook County's state attorney's office reviewed the investigation and approved one felony count of criminal sexual abuse by force. Scott has been detained and remains held in the Cook County jail. He is scheduled to appear in court on the 18th of April. Now, to me, that kind of sounded as though maybe he was at a women's basketball game. So it kind of sounded like maybe he just followed her from that game to where she was going. Okay. And that's also why, if you're going to be coming home at night, or listening to music at night, whatever, if you're going to be on the phone or listening to music, whatever the case may be very vigilant, because people would take advantage of that. I used to do one headphone in, one headphone out. I stopped doing that and just not listen to any music, just because you want to be aware of your surroundings, because you got a lot of wackos out here, and they would try to take advantage of any situation, you being distracted on the phone, whatever. But not victim blaming, just saying it's just certain things that we have to do. Now you may wonder, okay, Alex, you said that you were bothered by this case, what happened? I know this dude. I went to high school with him. Okay. It's ridiculous, yo. It's really upsetting. You know how when you see someone that you went to school with and then you see that they committed crimes, it's like, how did that happen? You know what I mean? And I guess it's gonna be kind of like a vent, partial. But it's like, here's the thing. When I was in high school with him, we had classes here and there together, but we would see each other mostly in the hallway, right? And he always, hi, Alexandria. And I'm like, oh, hey, it was always like one of those things. It was always nice. Never anything creepy. I never got any kind of creepy vibes from him. I never felt like uncomfortable around him, even though I didn't know him like that. I didn't really feel that kind of, vibe from him. And I remember one time we actually had an interaction. Now, when I was younger, I was kind of in the tomboy kind of phase. I was getting out of it like my junior year of high school and whatnot, but I was still kind of in the phase just a little bit. And I remember I would wear my blazers, my Nike blazers. I remember I had him on one day, and then he was like, "Oh, yo," he said, "your blazers, yo." He's like, "Those are nice, but now I can't wear mine." I'm like, "Why?" And then he was like, "Oh, well, because people don't think that we're together and da da." And at that time, I was not interested in anybody. Okay, I wasn't interested in having friends. I wasn't interested in nothing. Okay, okay. I wasn't interested in any dudes, nothing like that. So for me, I'm just like, okay. And I kept minding my own business, whatever. But anytime I ever seen him, it was always a pleasant, hello, hey, Alexandria, how are you? I'm like, hey, I'm pretty good. Da, da, da. And he was always nice and friendly to me. Never got any weird vibes. And then I'm gonna say allegedly because it happened, and you can look it up. Okay, but but allegedly, he actually was around maybe 2017 is when I heard about it. I think it was 2017. My friend was like, "Yo, did you hear about this dude?" I'm like, "Black Carlos?" I was like, "What happened?" The prawns of the underage, if you know what I mean. And I was like, "Oh no." I was like, "Are you serious? That really happened?" I went and looked it up, and I was like, "Oh, okay, he's that dude." And then time went by, whatever. And the same friend, he hit me up. He was like, "You remember Carlos?" I'm like, "Carlos?" I'm like, "Black Carlos?" He's like, "Black Carlos." I was like, "What happened with Black Carlos?" He sent a link. He said, "Look at this." Well, he sent a picture. So I look at it, and I was like, now he's assaulting women. So first it was the children prawn. Allegedly. Even though it's there. But I'm going to say allegedly. So it was like, okay, first it was the children prawn. And now it is sexually assaulting women now. And it's like, it's really heartbreaking to look at that image, because I'm like, that's not the Carlos I remember at all. That's not the Carlos I remember. The Carlos I remember was, I just, and yes, did he, say some things about certain people that I knew, yes, but that's how people are, when they're underage and stuff like that. People say crazy things anyway, kind of bullying a little bit, but But I was like, overall, he didn't say anything bad to me. I don't mind him. But then once I found out about the first incident, I was like, and then I'm like, oh, okay, well, I don't know if he's still locked up, whatever. So that's why he was like, Black Carlos. I was like, he was like, here's the article. I was like, wait, what? I was like, he's out, and then he committed a crime again. So I don't know what is going on with him. It's very upsetting that this kind of stuff is going on with him, because I'm like, what happened? What could have happened, dude? We all knew each other. We were, it's like, what happened to you, dude? How did this happen? How did you go down this spiral? First you're on the underage prawns, and then now you're over here goodness, what's next? What's next? Is it, you already assaulted someone. Is it actually penetration and, you know what I mean? Or is it going to be murder or something? I don't know. At this point, I'm like, I don't think he needs to be out on the streets, because obviously he doesn't know how to be out on the streets and not commit crime. Okay. But that hurt. I was like, wow, I knew this person. And it's like when you know someone and you see him on the news, you see him in an article for something that ain't good. It's like, ooh, okay. And it's upsetting. It really is upsetting that this is how your life turned out. It's just unfortunate that this is what ended up happening. But let me know what you all think about that story down below.